much, and I just trust that no matter where you are placed, that God has something for you to learn. Can you say amen?
Amen.
Amen, yes. So we're going to start tonight. You have a little program in front of you. It just gives the order that we're going to go in. We're going to start with our fearless leader, Dr. Nichols, so let's give a round of applause.
And I'm going to keep my comments brief, mostly because I have 600 places to be right now. I just got a text from my son, where are you? Wait. A few things that I want to say to you. First of all, let me begin by sharing that as a cohort, I don't think I've ever been more enthused about a particular group of people going out to student teach. I've worked at the college since 2001. I don't think that I have ever felt so excited. And you have to understand, I tend to be pretty excited. So like, that's really, really something. Those of you who are special education majors, we had such a, they had to have me in the fall for reading disabilities, and there was something about that class where, it's just kind of lightning in a bottle. And those of you who are, like, it was really powerful. And those of you who are in upper lit, you are knocking my socks off with your ability to teach. And I know as we've moved into this field, we had so many challenges with things that were out of our control, scheduling and carnivals and field trips and everything else. And I actually was so worried about how that may diminish who you're growing to be as a teacher, but I think the opposite has happened. I think all of those obstacles in the way have made you rise up in a way that is really, really powerful. And I really get chills thinking about that. One of the things that can be very tempting as you approach that final part of your status sheet, right, is to think about it being one more thing to cross off the list. And to think that you've already proven yourself and that you're just going to enter into student teaching and it's going to be all smooth sailing. Well, no. A couple reasons why. First of all, it is called student teaching, not student performing. You have things to learn. And certainly we have a sense of some things that each of you can grow into and learn, and you have that sense yourself of things where you know you're still developing and still growing. So that's an important part of it. The other part of it, though, and I have to just be completely frank, this is a place of faith. I think we should be bold about calling on our faith and leaning into our faith. You have to understand there's forces in this world that have no interest in you being confident about being a great teacher. There are forces in this world that have no interest in you moving into student teaching and having a great student teaching semester and being confident about your calling. We see it every year, don't we, Dr. Culbertson? And I have to tell you what, even though that's scary to think about, our God is so much bigger than that. Our God is so much bigger than that. And when there are obstacles, the victory's already won, people. And so when you encounter obstacles in student teaching, that is not a moment for you to retreat. That is a moment for you to push forward. You rise up. You come across those things and you do it with the confidence and the grace and the humility of someone who understands that you don't serve anything of this world. You serve something beyond it. And this is one of those rare majors at this school. If you think about it, I would challenge you to find another major at Grove City College or most colleges that gives you the rare opportunity of saying, all right, you have learned and learned and learned and learned, now prove it. Go and do everything that you've been taught to do and do it every day. Have the equivalent of an oral exam every day. Have the equivalent of a class that is made up not just of you and a professor, but you, a professor, and a whole team of other professionals that are mentoring you. and also keeping you accountable for your growth. That's an audacious, amazing thing. And again, that can be daunting or it can be exciting. I still remember some of you when you were considering coming to Grove City College. I remember standing in case rooms and talking to parents and students at major days and things like that. And even in the IM room when you were probably a junior or a sophomore, I remember some of those conversations. And one of the things that I often say, and people who go to these things with me often, like Dr. Culbertson, they can probably quote certain parts of my spiel by heart. One of the things I say is that here at Grove City College, student teaching is not a question mark. Because the reality is we have you in the school so much and so thoroughly that by the time you get to student teaching, it's not a question of whether you can do it or not. I tell people at Grove City College, your student teaching is an exclamation point of what you've done and how you've grown. And so it's really, really a wonderful opportunity, and I just want to encourage you to be the exclamation point. Don't look at it as this thing that just needs completed before you move on to the next thing. Because even though you might be moving on to those next things, guess what? The kids in your class, they don't get another chance. They don't get another moment to learn 5th grade math or 6th grade math or whatever it is that you've done. You're their moment. You're their moment. Be their exclamation point. Dr. Kemeny, I was recently talking to him. He's one of the assistant deans, in case you don't know. You know, believe it or not, even here in the ed department, we have people we report to. I know, but we report to classrooms we've never going to see, right, Dr. Culbertson? That's our boss. But anyhow, but Dr. Kemeny, I was sharing with him recently that one of the things that I see as a trend in Christian circles is I see this trend where some people who are quite devout seem to be shrinking away from the world. They seem to be very fearful of engaging the world, somehow thinking that because they're people of faith, this is a time where they should be retreating. They look around at a pluralistic society, they look around at changing norms and values, and it frightens them. And they think they've got to kind of shelter from that world. That is completely not what anyone should do if they serve the risen Almighty Christ, in my opinion. And in our college documents, like way buried deep in something that you'll probably never look up, but something that made me want to teach at Grove City College, something that made me decide I'm going to leave these little people that I really care about a lot, and I'm going to come and work with, you know, kind of medium-ish people instead of older people. There's a line in the college mission statement that says that our job as an institution is to equip men and women with excellence so that they can uplift society on every frontier. That's an amazing statement, right? And I always say, when I talk to trustees and President McNulty and people who give money to the college, I always say, guess who's on the front lines of lifting up society? Guess who gets to do that as like the special forces? It's you. It's you. And I've also been here long enough that I know all the stories and legacies of people who've come behind you, and I have dreams about the people who come after you. And so I just want to encourage you as you enter into student teaching, be the exclamation point, and know that when you have obstacles, they might seem big at the time, but once you get through them, they will seem so small in the rearview mirror. And the other thing is, remember what you're working for and who you're working for. Remember that. All right, that's it.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay. The only person I know who can make clearances exciting, Dr. Janelle.